I got to get your thoughts, first of all, on the big picture here. Markets are melting down. There is no end in sight. What's your view on all of this and what it means for the tech economy?
No, I don't think anyone knows yet, obviously. My personal take on this is that in the past, in 2001 and 2008, 2009, those were both great buying opportunities. You never know where the bottom's going to be and you never know when it's going to end. But I just sort of have felt over the past 2 days that a couple of years from now, we'll look back and wish we've been buying more when prices were where they are. So I've been a buyer slowly but surely all along the last week, and probably will continue to do that.
Interesting. You and your former colleague, Adam Bain from Twitter, recently launched a venture capital firm, O1 Advisors. What's the status of that? And, are you trying to raise funding? Are you able to raise funding in an environment like this?
Yeah, the funds raised, fortunately, and that's great. We're continuing to put money to work and continuing to invest. And I'm then obviously advising operators and CEOs in this environment to, you don't know how long it's going to last. Take it very, very seriously. Look hard at operating expenses. Make all sorts of contingency plans that you may have to put in place in the next month or so to cut OpEx even more than you may have so far. And then look for opportunities to be helpful to your partners and customers. It's easy to be inwardly focused in these times, and smart and thoughtful operators and companies also think about their partners and customers and look for ways to be helpful to them. And again, when we come out of this, those customers and partners will remember the companies that helped them when the going got tough. So I think that's absolutely something we're encouraging CEOs to do.
Whenever you come on the show, Dick, we always have to have you put your Twitter hat on. Twitter, Facebook, Google, they've all been struggling with misinformation, really pernicious misinformation, medical misinformation in the midst of this coronavirus outbreak. What do you think they can do better? And do you think this could be a turning point in how in taking a harder line on this stuff?
I do, and I think they've done that. Twitter just, I think this morning, announced much more aggressive terms against misinformation, information that is antithetical to the scientific evidence, and more, and have been very aggressive in taking down people encouraging self-harm. Infamously the Sheriff Clark tweets that were taken down, encouraging people to go out into large crowds, and that this was all sort of a hoax. So I think that it could be a turning point, and probably a welcome one for a lot of folks.
Meantime, Twitter has been under pressure from activist investors. They struck a deal with Elliott and the private equity firm Silver Lake, but there are still questions about Jack Dorsey's job. And we've sort of asked this year after year as he's remained CEO of both Twitter and Square. Do you think he's still the right person to be running Twitter, even though he is a founder of the company, and you know how hard that job is?
Yeah, it's a hard job. One of the great things about Twitter is everybody on the planet has just 3 suggestions for what you should do immediately to change and improve the platform. It's just that everybody's suggestions are different than everybody else's. Look, Jack's done a great job of leading the teams there, which is evidenced by the fact that he's beloved by the management teams. I think the folks running a product and engineering now at Twitter, Kayvon on the product side, and Matt Dorella on the go-to-market side. Those are all great executives with tons of experience at Twitter and prior to Twitter. He's beloved by that team, and those people are beloved by their teams. So I don't have any complaints about what's going on over there.
Meantime, Dick, you are making a big donation now every night to the local restaurant.
I'm getting texted right now I'm getting texted right now as we speak by all the executives I didn't mention. Right? They're like, why didn't how can you always mention that? And I guarantee you, I have 30 text messages.
All right. You can tweet your thanks to them. Meantime, you're making a big donation every night to the local restaurant Kaifi Co. Obviously, we've all been asked here in the Bay Area to shelter in place. Restaurants have been asked to not serve people in-house, takeout only. You're donating, as I understand it, $2,000 every night so that Kaifi Co can make meals for 40 different families in need. Tell us how this is going so far.
Yeah, and it's not just our family. The night that the order of shelter in place went into effect, or was even announced, and was going to go into effect in such short time, I had the thought that it was going to be rough for families, especially families under income pressure, in such short order, to be able to get everything together that they needed within 24 hours to shelter in place. At almost the same time, I'd got an email from David Nayfeld, the chef and owner, a co-owner at Kaifi Co, that they were going to put together a sort of a takeout plan. And it just struck me that something that could sort of solve both sides of the equation, or at least help both sides of the equation, was to tell David, look, our family will donate $2,000 a night toward takeout meals that can be given away for free to families who didn't have time to prepare, who just, were in dire straits right now because of income pressure. And then we announced that on Twitter, and in very short order, part of the beauty of Twitter, Egon Durbin and Allison and Dan Rose stepped up and matched us. And so, there were 120 meals a night available for families right away for free, and anyone else could jump in and both order meals themselves and pay for them, or order meals and donate meals. It took off right away. There were over, I think 50 meals ordered in the first 10 minutes we were open on. David was open 2 nights ago, and then last night we blew through the 150 meals in the first sort of hour. And fortunately, because other people kept contributing and kept ordering more, there's just been more and more volume. We even have a website now up and running this morning for people to donate and order. So it's been a great success, and now we're trying to replicate it around the country.
All right, you can go to KaifiCoFamilyMeal.com to sign up for meals there. You can also buy meals if you want. You don't need them for free. And I know many families, many folks have sort of matched your donations. And this is a very hot restaurant, so suggest people go there.